Hey agents, in this video I'm once again transforming into Noob Sensei and will be teaching you everything you need to know about one of the strongest yet most underappreciated gear sets in the Division 2, Hunter's Fury. Many seasons ago, heck, many years ago, Hunter's Fury was born. It was met with a lot of positivity. A fair number of agents were running Hunter's Fury in both PvE and PvP. It was a well-respected gear set. But then, along came the evil stacking sets. Sets like Strikers, Heartbreaker, and now tipping scales that deal obscene amounts of damage for building stacks. And not only that, but the devs have made it super easy to build stacks in the Division 2 by adding handling on the builds. Not losing your stacks from missed shots. And heck, tipping scales doesn't even require you to hit the enemy to gain stacks.
You are disgusting.
Naturally, the player base has shifted to these wonder sets, as even Captain Hook himself could maintain 80% stacks with relative ease.
Arr!
They left Hunter's Fury in the dust, destined for a life of being looted as junk and deconstructed for optimization materials. But are these gear sets that rely on stacking really all they're cracked up to be? I don't want to get too deep into it, as this video is about Hunter's Fury, but I do want you to understand the true power of this gear set, and that it deserves a place or two in your build inventory. So quickly, we're just going to compare a typical Striker build with the equivalent Hunter's Fury build. Both builds use Obliterate and the same number of red and blue cores, and both will be at maximum stacks. And, to even my surprise, Hunter's Fury actually does slightly more damage.
Wait a minute.
Who'da thunk it? So I guess that settles it. Hunter's Fury is officially superior to Striker's battle gear. Time to deconstruct your Striker gear and optimize your Hunter's Fury. If only it were that simple. Maybe if you're comparing those boring brand set builds to each other, but gear sets are a little more complicated, making them almost impossible to compare one another head to head. Anyways, I don't want this to turn into a comparison between Hunter's Fury and Striker, so let's talk about why Hunter's Fury's damage is so surprisingly high. To do that, we need to look at the 4-piece bonus Apex Predator. For starters, enemies within 15 meters are debuffed. You can see who is debuffed as they will have a red Hunter's Fury icon above their head. What's more, you can even see this icon through walls. So it's like having wall hacks in PvE. The only way an enemy can cleanse themselves of this debuff is by moving further than 15 meters away from you. So what does this debuff do? Your damage to them is amplified by 20%, and when you eliminate them, all enemies within 5 meters are disoriented and you gain a stack of 5% additional amplified damage. The maximum stacks you can have is 5, so 25% damage. These stacks last 10 seconds and refresh on kill. What it means to refresh is that if you've got 5 stacks and eliminate another NPC within 10 seconds, you'll refresh the 10-second timer and maintain all 5 stacks. So typically, once you get your 5 stacks, you'll be able to maintain them for the entirety of the room, wave, or objective, especially if you're running solo. This isn't always easy, as NPCs aren't always grouped up, and sometimes they run away. But it's extremely important you maintain these stacks because of how much extra damage they provide. So things like reload management, blocking melees with your shield, swapping to the quick-step pistol to reposition, doing these kinds of intangibles will help you clear rooms faster and maintain your stacks. Now let's talk about if Hunter's Fury is made for solo or group play. Easy answer, anything with an on-kill mechanic thrives in solo play, and Hunter's Fury relies on its on-kill mechanics. Not only are you getting a stack of 5% amplified damage and disorienting nearby enemies, but taking a look at the 3-piece bonus, you're also getting 20% armor and 50% health on kill. So why is this better for solo agents? Because every kill belongs to you. And sometimes one kill can mean life or death. If you're low armor and surrounded by a group of NPCs, that one kill is not only going to heal you, but disorienting the remaining NPCs means they can't shoot you, giving you more time to secure kills, all the while healing more armor and gaining more damage. Before you know it, you're full armor and dishing out 45% amplified damage. Meaning, had you been grouped up and a teammate secured that first kill, you'd have 0 stacks and a revive hive on cooldown. And while we're on the benefits of on-kill mechanics, shout out to the undisputed king of solo PvE, the exotic Memento backpack. This thing is the perfect backpack for a Hunter's Fury build. But I'll get more into that in our Memento 101 video coming sooner or later. Now I want to take a quick look at the 2-piece bonus, which is 15% SMG damage and shotgun damage. I find this to be a bit of a misleading bonus, as it's led the community to believe that Hunter's Fury is exclusively for SMGs and shotguns. I consider it more of a close range run and gun gear set. ARs and LMGs can also get a lot of value from Hunter's Fury. In fact, my favorite way to run it is with the Bighorn assault rifle, because the sustain and crowd control from Hunter's Fury makes it easy to get up close and hit headshots. Also, while the 15% damage is nice, it's really not going to make that much of a difference on your build. Now, I'm not going to get into a big discussion about additive and multiplicative damage because math is boring, but it's good to understand that when you see weapon damage, it's not going to give you as big a boost as total weapon damage or amplified damage. I don't do equations, so if you want to get deeper into the damage numbers, just Google additive versus multiplicative damage division 2, and you'll get a plethora of Reddit posts explaining this in more detail. Now, going back to the damage bonuses from Apex Predator, remember that those are amplified damage. Those are the numbers we're chasing. So you're definitely going to want to fight within 15 meters as much as possible. Because when you shoot an enemy from further than 15 meters, not only are you not getting the bonus damage, but when you eliminate them, you don't get the 5% damage stack, and nearby NPCs do not get disoriented. Now, getting within 15 meters of a group of enemies is one thing, but surviving is a whole nother story. Especially since Hunter's Fury pieces come with a red damage core. Well, maybe some newer players aren't aware that you can re-roll the core attribute on your gear. How much armor your build needs is entirely up to you, but for me, I like having 4 blue cores on most of my Hunter's Fury builds. Now, with brand sets, it can be really hard to find a piece with 2 attributes you really want, making the grind to put together a build very time consuming, especially if RNGesus is in a bad mood. One of the great things about gear sets, and I know I mention this in like every video, is that they only have one attribute. So even if you need to reroll the core attribute, it's a heck of a lot easier to find your ideal piece if it only needs one minor attribute. All right. So we've gone over the stats and bonuses of this gear set. What kind of content should you be using Hunter's Fury for? As I mentioned, solo content is where this set thrives, particularly when enemies are grouped up. So when playing missions and the smaller open world activities, you're going to be hard pressed to find something stronger than a well-designed Hunter's Fury build. And of course, that goes for any difficulty. It's still going to clear control points fairly easily, but the enemies tend to be more spread out, making it harder to get within 15 meters and take advantage of the disorient. I love using it for retaliation though, as things often get really hectic, in a good way, chasing around all those enemies. How about PvP? And when I say PvP, I mean conflict, not the running simulator. To use any close range build in PvP, you need to know the maps, angles, common camping spots, all that good stuff. Otherwise, if you get caught running out in the open, Umbras, snipers, LMGs, they're all gonna feast on you before you can even get in range to do any meaningful damage. So if you're brand new to PvP, a standard brand set build or Umbra is the way to go, as you don't need to jump through any hoops or tick any boxes to get value. Just shoot anyone from anywhere. Remember though, conflict stats are normalized, meaning no SHD watch, so if you're putting together a crit build, you'll need to put an extra 10% crit chance to hit the cap. Other than getting within 15 meters, there's no secret to using Hunter's Fury in PvP, although it does go very well with the bleed build, which includes 4 pieces Hunter's Fury, Bridgeway's Pride chest piece, a backpack with Wicked, and an SMG with Sadist. Now speaking of the chest and backpack, I almost forgot to talk about the bonuses you get from this set. And to be honest, that's probably because I never use them. If you equip the Hunter's Fury chest piece, your 5% damage stacks will last for 30 seconds instead of 10 seconds, which isn't bad because then you could quite possibly hold the 5 stacks for an entire mission. But I'd rather equip something like Obliterate and significantly increase my overall damage potential. And then the backpack increases the radius of your disorient from 5 meters to 10 meters. Again, not useless as the disorient is really helpful, but I'd much rather get 40% bonus armor and 15% weapon damage on kill. Alright, so did I cover everything?
No.
How does one acquire Hunter's Fury pieces? Easy, the general loot pool. Farm 1 round of Countdown and you'll have yourself a build. Feeling lucky? Craft your build. Crafting isn't quite as bad as people say it is.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
It's very easy to put together a Hunter's Fury build, so really, no reason not to give it a try. Okay, that's it, that's all. Hunter's Fury. Everything you needed to know, all wrapped up into one easy to understand video. And obviously, you're already subscribed to the channel and you've liked the video, so just let me know in the comments your favorite Hunter's Fury builds. And as always, whether you're running PvE or PvP, have fun out there, agents.